Hello, Steve 89. Well, is this Mecha-Karma? Is this the revenge of MechaRandom? Basically, Az from Hill vs. Babyface and Gary from Nerdrotic or Nerdrotics got banned and suspended on Twitter. And people are upset. People like Yellow Flash and just sort of people from that sort of group, the Fandom Menace group, are basically saying we may as well just get off the platform. It's just there's no freedom of speech anymore, and blah blah blah. And they're all playing the victim. And Mecha, of course, because she recently went down in flames, and they just watched. She's digging the knife in, and people are attacking her for that. And I'm like, I don't blame her. Basically, Mecha was associated with the Fandom Menace, and they were helping her promote a channel, and she basically had to play the game like everyone else. Basically, the Fandom Menace is technically just a hashtag and a loose association of people, but some of the people were getting together in groups and coordinating, and they were all very much focused on catering to and playing to and pandering to the same base, which is basically the alt-right trumpet sort of deplorables, you know, as defined by Mrs. Clinton, not me, I didn't say that, she said it. And they know this, and they all had the same game plan, they all had the same narrative, they sort of set up their talking points, and they had this sort of, okay, we hate this person, we attack this person, we like this person, we support this person. If you basically are one of us and play the game, we'll promote you on our channel, so we'll get you heaps of views. So a lot of these people came in who had small sort of followings, but had some value to add to the group, and they were exploited for that. And then they did get the promotion, they got the subs, but they had to toe the line, they had to use the talking points they were supposed to, they had to basically just do what they were told. And most of these smaller groups were women, and they were bullied and treated badly, and they a lot of them left. Mecha was one of the ones, and she was getting fed up with it, and then she did what she usually does, and she is guilty of this. Like, I first saw Mecha just through a random video, and I liked her personality and her wall of toys behind her, but didn't take long before she offended me. I have a relative who is autistic, and she was making fun of disabled people through Star Trek Discovery, and then pretending like she didn't. She didn't want to take responsibility for saying something really atrocious. Someone else said it, and then she just repeated it. I mean, and she was like, people were attacking her, and including me, I think, and then basically what she said was, instead of attacking me and attacking people that you don't like what they say, why don't you go make your own content? Go get your own channel and say what you think instead of attacking other people for what they think, because they have their own voice and they have their own thing. Instead of attacking them, why don't you just say what you want? So that's what I did. I already had a YouTube channel that had a bunch of subscribers from my Madonna videos, but I didn't make any content for it. I didn't say anything. And this was just as Star Trek Discovery was coming out and turning into a nightmare. So I started doing those videos, but then I still followed her, but she would keep putting her foot in her mouth and saying just really abhorrent things. And the last thing that she said was just unbelievable. I don't hate her for it, but I just, it seems to be part of her things to say things that just are just inappropriate. She suggested that Zack Snyder molested his daughter, and that's why she killed herself. And it was part of the attack on Zack Snyder because he turned on the Fandom Menace, because they thought they were going to use his daughter's suicide charity to associate with him and to bump up their status. It didn't work. He came out against them and said, I'll come on here for the money and to support the charity, but I don't associate with these people. They're basically a hate group, and I have Asian children, and they're part of the racist movement that like they literally were like referring to the China virus, and that was part of what was spurring on that Asian hate which is happening. And he's got Asian children, so he was speaking out directly against them for things they've directly said that he knows they've said. He didn't come specifically out and say it, but he did. And they tried to play it down and say, oh no, he was talking about two different things. He just didn't put like a beat between them. It just sounded like he was saying no, he was throwing them under the bus. He was getting the money from them and then throwing them under the bus for who they are and not associating with them. Don't blame him. But they turned on him. She turned on him as well. She made that really abhorrent comment because there's this... Oh, God, it's such a big thing. Basically, all the right, they know they can't work within the Hollywood system because the Hollywood system is left and all about representation and very extreme. And they're not welcome. So they want to destroy Hollywood, basically. They want Hollywood to fall. They want the mainstream media, the mainstream comic book industry to fall. This is like Clownfish Media, Nerdrotic, Doomcock, all these people. They want the establishment to fall so then they can come up and be independents and have their own audience, and they can be misogynistic and sexist and white supremacist and all this, in my humble opinion, without, and being able to operate like that and not have to deal with politically correctness and moral issues like, respecting diversity and having representation. They're all about just, if you're not a white, straight, cis character, you are trash. You are worthless. You are the worst written episode, the worst written character, the worst undeveloped character in the history of the world, and they're just so over the top. Every review of Batman or Batwoman, or anything from the CW, anything that's remotely woke is just trashed and attacked, and they do this, it's their thing. And yeah, she was part of all that, and she got thrown under the bus because they already had some issues with her because she was going a little bit too far, and because they were trying to skirt this line where they were trying to cater to the bass, like the trumpet bass, but they were trying to go mainstream as well, and they were trying really hard to do that, and she was just not caring and just saying whatever she thought, and she was hurting them, so they had to dissociate her from them. And once she made the comment about Snyder, they did it, and they just threw her under the bus and they let her go down. And it was partly because there were working issues behind the scenes as well. She had issues with them, and she didn't take it like some of the other women did. She stood up for herself a bit more, and eventually she just had it. And Asnat did the same thing. They got taken down for making outrageous statements. They've been banned and blocked a bunch of times, and Az has reached the level where he's had too many, now he's blocked permanently, whereas Gary is just suspended, so he'll be back. But she's got no sympathy for them, and she's calling him out because they said she deserved to go down, so should they, because they're doing the same thing apparently. Because as basically Marvel announced that there was a new She-Hulk story coming out, and of course, because she's a brick house, because she's a beast, he basically had to make a misogynistic comment and imply that, of course, if she doesn't conform to the gender norms of a feminine, submissive woman, she must be a man-hater or a dyke or something. So he made the comment of all men must die, which was technically a quote from Game of Thrones, but really was a misogynistic attack on the character and her representation and everything, which is what all they ever do. And then he's playing the victim now, and it's just really sad to watch him play the victim. Mecha tries to avoid responsibility. She does. She absolutely does. But they do the same thing. And they play the victim as well. She was the victim of them. So she's not playing the victim, but they're playing the victim of Twitter and that. They knew what they were doing. They know what they can and can't say. If you don't want to be blocked or banned, if you want to use that platform to promote your stuff, you have to respect the people on it. You can't be homophobic, you can't be misogynistic, you can't be transphobic, you can't do all the things that they do to speak to their base, because there's this whole base of people who, like I said, they're just extreme right. They're this anti-everything movement, and they're playing to that, because if you can hitch your ride to that, you'll do really well. That's why I don't do well, because I'm a centrist. I don't like the social justice warriors and the extreme left. I don't like the haters and the trumpets and the extreme right. So I'll call them both out, so none of them like me. So I don't get help from either of them. I don't get my stuff promoted. A couple of times I did, And one of my biggest videos where I was just talking about stuff was when someone from the fandom was actually promoting me for like 5 minutes. And that's how it works. And that's never going to happen to me, but that's fine because I have integrity. I can talk about whatever I want. I don't have to worry about what I say, if it aligns with the narrative, if it gets picked up, if it gets a certain amount of views, because I'm not monetized. My other channel that was big enough to be monetized before, I didn't choose to be monetized because I didn't want to think about money. I just wanted to talk and not have to worry about, oh, how many views does that get? How much did I make? Because that's what these people live by now. I'll give a little bit of credit to Gary because his wife lost her business in the pandemic just recently. So maybe he does have to toe the line because he needs to actually make some money because he's like, got a family to support. But Mecha has suggested that he's actually the one who's in charge, and he's the one who's organising and coordinating the talking points and the narrative for their group and for the Fandom Menace and that. Before she was saying it was Tom and Andre, and of course there's Jeremy from Geeks and Gamers, but it does seem like this small amount of people are directing the narrative and the direction for the overall group that is recognised as the Fandom Menace and, the anti-woke crowd and all that. So it's a big, huge mess. And I'm already at 11 minutes. This was going to be a short video, but it takes so long to explain all that stuff and all the context, and I haven't even done half of it. I haven't even really done it justice. But I just find it funny that as went down, he's playing the victim, and people are attacking MechaRandom for kicking the boot into them as they go down because they watched her go down, and why shouldn't she? Why shouldn't she just, maybe it is karma, maybe she cursed them, maybe it is the curse of MechaRandom. I'd like to think it is, because, she's a woman. And if she was responsible for using witchcraft to take them down, they'd just love it. They'd be the victims of, evil witch MechaRandom. I gotta go. Feel free to share, like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you think. I'm sorry if this was a bit all over the place because I just did a video about this, and when you do a video and then it doesn't work and you do another one on the same subject, it's really hard to remember, did I just say that or did I say that in the other video? And you don't know if you've forgotten stuff or if you've said stuff twice. It's a mess. That's why you've got to script properly and just do one video. But because I just talk spontaneously off the cuff, I don't rehearse, I don't script. It's hard. If I screw it up, I have to start all over again. But yeah, I'm still talking. I've got to go. Thanks.